Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and Brittany uploaded to my Instagram a short video clip of me doing some floor pressing yesterday, and of course then the questions come in, hey Jason, why are you doing a horizontal press? What's up with that? So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, let's talk about this. It's a good question, and I'm going to come into the topic of having well-balanced strength in a minute, but the fact of the matter is I haven't done any form of chest pressing in at least a year. Alright, my chest is still pretty big by any standards, but a lot of that's because I have a really big rib cage and my pecs grow really easy. I quit doing even dips back in December, so I have pretty much kept all of my chest size purely from overhead pressing. That's all I do. I don't do incline bench, I don't do flat bench, I don't do dips. I have done nothing but high frequency overhead pressing, a minimum of 3 days a week, sometimes 5 days a week overhead pressing for months and months. That's all I do anymore. Now, the problem with that, just like I quit squatting, I've been doing only deadlifts and push presses for my lower body. Now, here's the problem we run into with all of that. Is that good for injury prevention? Is that good for being overall strong? No, it's not. And that's something I've had to reassess. And it's not necessarily just about physique, because at a certain point, if it was just physique, I'd never have to do a chest press the rest of my life. Really, at this point, to have a better physique, obviously body fat loss would be what I need. A little more arm, a little more side delt, okay? I don't need to add anything to my chest. I could lose chest size and still be balanced. That's not a problem. So what is it about? It's about being strong. It's about having balance. Now, first of all, when it comes to different practices that we use for injury prevention, doing enough lift variations that you have a well-balanced strength base is a good idea just for injury prevention. There's a reason I do pinned leg rows thrown in, even though I do tons of deadlifting, I do tons of chin-ups. Those are my back builders. Do I really need pinned leg rows for my back? No. But they're a good accessory, and they're good to add a little bit of exercise variety to bring up weak points that could be injured when lifting heavy or when doing any sort of awkward lifting or something. Because that's the thing, when you have to lift something awkward, and awkward could be you fail a lift, you lose your balance, or something shifts when you're lifting, maybe a plate slides off, your collars fly off, something becomes unbalanced when you lift. Having weak links somewhere can get you hurt. Bar shifts out of your normal groove, you could get hurt. All right, having well-balanced strength and shoring up weak points by working different lifts is a good strategy for injury prevention, and that's something I'm really big on, guys. I'm 40 years old. I think a lot about injury prevention. A lot of people don't understand. They might think, well, you know, some of the ways you lift I feel is dangerous. Well, you feel it's dangerous, but it's not. That's the difference. I've managed to avoid any major injuries for the last 13 or 14 years now, and it's not by accident. I am careful with what I do, and I think about these things ahead of time. How do you prevent bicep tears? How do you prevent damaging the lower back? How do you prevent rotator cuff injuries? How do you keep elbows from getting inflamed? It's just stuff I think about a lot, and I train accordingly, and I give advice accordingly. This is one of those areas, well-balanced strength. Now, here's the other question we get into. What's my other philosophy? Well-rounded strength. If a person is weak at any exercise on earth, you're weak. Okay, that's my philosophy. A person who is only good at 3 exercises, but they suck at 6 different basic exercises that you come up with and throw at them randomly, is not a strong person. If someone can only do the bench press and weighted chin-ups, but they suck at everything else, they're a strong bench presser and a strong chin-upper. They're not a strong person physically. Because if you're strong, you don't have weaknesses. You might have things that you're weaker at than others. You have things you don't focus on more than others. But if a person is truly strong, you should be able to throw any random exercise at them. An exercise they have never done before in their life. I don't care if it's a back squat, a front squat, a zercher squat, a floor press, an incline bench, a weighted chin-up, a weighted pull-up. I don't care. Conventional deadlift, deficit deadlift, sumo deadlift, it doesn't matter. Any random exercise that a person has never done before in their life, if you throw it at them and they can't lift at least a decently respectable number, they don't have to be power lifters strong at it, but relative to their size and relative to other people, If they can't lift at least a decent weight at that exercise, they're weak. They're weak. You are only as strong as your weakest link. So that's why I tell people that. Don't, you know, it's fine to focus upon just a few basic exercises, but you better make sure they carry over to everything else you do. And if you have a weak link anywhere, you're not strong and athletic. All right? Someone who's athletic and strong should be able to do any exercise that you throw at them randomly and be good at it, because they're strong and every muscle in their body is strong and they have motor patterns for at least every basic movement. In other words, you've never done a front squat in your life, but do you push press and do you back squat? Well, if you do those, you should actually be decent on the front squat even the first time you try it. You're not going to be amazing, but you should be decent at it because you already have the strength base and the basic techniques, the biomechanics trained already, right? Well, that's how that works. So anyone who says, well, I don't do that lift, I suck at it. Well, you need to improve at it, or you need to find something similar to improve at it, because otherwise you are weak. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And we need to shore those things up. So yeah, I've started to just a little bit as accessories because I focus so much on overhead pressing, so much on deadlifting, and other things. And I quit squatting because and I quit benching too, because I'm like, you know what? I don't compete in powerlifting anymore. I don't have to bench press. My chest is massive. I don't have to bench press. I don't have to squat either. My legs are massive, and I'm tired of squatting. But you know what? That also means that I've got strength weak links again. So I've decided to do variations a little bit to help bring those things up, because I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm hanging out and some other friends or something happens. I'm at a gym and another YouTuber shows up and they want to bench press. They want me to bench press with them. Or I'm with friends and, you know, they're playing around and I want to just do a little bit and I can't bench all of a sudden because I haven't done any chest presses. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. You can't squat. If there's any basic exercise you can't do because you're so out of practice, I don't know. I don't think that's a particularly flattering situation to be in as someone who claims to lift weights. I'm not comfortable with that idea. So for me, I've realized that if I truly want to call myself strong, I can't let those weak links exist. So I've come in and a couple of those exercises that will cover the basis for me, I do them a little bit. Am I doing them in my main workouts? No. I come in on some of my off days every now and then, about once a week. I swing through for a 20-minute training session and I pick some exercises I haven't done in a while, or just something that are possible extra weak links, and I just work on them a little bit. I don't do a lot of volume. I come in and do some relatively heavy 4, 5, 6 rep sets for them. Pause work, stuff like that. I've started doing that. I just do a couple sets. I'm in and out in 20 minutes just to do some extra stuff to retrain motor patterns and just to stay well-rounded. And that's all it is. And it's outside of my normal training schedule. But I'm doing a little bit of that as just accessories. So yeah, I'm doing a little bit of floor pressing, a little bit of front squatting. And I started floor pressing a little bit yesterday. I'd been doing some front squats. And again, the idea there is, okay, why a floor press? Because I do so much other standing work that's full body, I'm pretty well loaded up. I don't need to be doing more exercises with leg drive. I push press 3 days a week. I deadlift twice a week. Hell, I'm even going in doing front squats on these others. I don't really need any chest press to be a full body exercise. I don't need to bench press on a bench. If I just want to build my pressing strength with my chest, the best way to do that's the floor press. It's the strictest chest press you can possibly do. It's the most difficult. And it's from a dead stop. It builds good speed strength. It builds explosiveness. That makes it a useful tool. And I'm doing it without impeding much recovery on the rest of my body, because with all the cardio I'm doing, with me, the scale going down, my recovery does get beat up a little bit. I have to think about these things, and it's not particularly taxing to do in comparison to other exercises where you might use some leg drive. And again, it's just nice, good dead stop training. I can get the most benefit from a lighter weight. And what do you mean a lighter weight? Well, you guys remember even before when I was doing a lot of benching, you guys have seen me bench 315 pause for 5 reps with a close grip, right? Close grip bench, I've done 315 paused. Pause means at least 1 second on the chest. For 5 reps, I've done it plenty of times. What's the most I've ever floor pressed? The same amount for 1, and it was a max. So yeah, I mean, your max on a floor press is probably going to be around your 5 rep max on a bench press. That's just my experience because it's very strict. There's no way to use leg drive. There's no way to use hip drive. All right, you have to lift it from a hard, dead stop, not your chest. You're having to lift from a hard stop at the bottom. All right, it's a full stop exercise. It's good for explosiveness. You can't lift as much weight. It doesn't beat you up as much. Same thing with the front squat. The front squat has better carryover to the deadlift and the push press than the back squat does. Those are my two most important exercises. So if I'm going to squat, I might as well use a squat variation that carries over better to what I'm doing. Yeah? Carries over better to what I'm doing. So I'm doing a little bit of it. They aren't main exercises for me. I'm not treating them like primary exercises. I'm just playing around with them a little bit. But it's the same thing. Front squat doesn't beat your recovery up as much as a back squat. There's less compression on your spine. It's technically easier to recover from, and it's a very athletic movement. And it happens to be a great accessory for my two most important exercises to me right now. So, yeah, I'm doing both of those, and they're just to shore up weaknesses. They're just to do some other stuff to make sure I don't develop weak links in my overall strength, because I don't think that a person who has weak links in their strength, they have basic exercises they can't do decently, can't do well, they can't be strong on any exercise, then you're not strong, you're weak, and you really shouldn't think in those terms that, oh, I'm strong because I'm strong on a couple of this. We need to be well-rounded, guys. We want to call ourselves strong, we need to be well-rounded. Just like if you want to be athletic, you need to be well-rounded. No one is strong because of one or two exercises that they do. You need to be strong at everything. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.